Feeling adventurous?
Always.
SailTrek is next.
Hello again and welcome. One of the great things about SailTrek is getting to visit out-of-the-way places. Join us as we sail the Starflyer to places that are truly unique. Starting with a historic guest house that sits on 80 acres, Jim Scott takes us there.
The Caribbean is a region where resorts, villas, and all sorts of retreats abound. Catering to the ultra-wealthy and those of more modest means, there is literally something for everyone in the Caribbean. But for those looking for something truly different, there is the Balenbouche Estate on the island of St. Lucia. The history of Balenbouche dates back to the 1700s, when, like many properties in the Caribbean, it was a sugar plantation, owned by several families, but changing hands many times, just as St. Lucia did, at times ruled by the French or the British. But since 1979, St. Lucia has been independent. Several years earlier, the Loett's family gradually converted the property into an amazing eco-friendly retreat. Although Balenbouche Estates has been around for many years, it's seen its popularity grow in recent years as travelers search for locations that are eco-friendly and geared towards an experience that can let them gather with the natural environment. Balenbouche is ideally positioned to meet those needs. For the matriarch of the Loett's family, Uta, who along with her two daughters, Verena and Anita Anja, Balenbouche is a calling.
It's a sanctuary for the spirit world, I keep saying so, for all the plants, for the animals, and for people. Yeah, we have to protect our environment. A lot of people think environment just about maybe the physical environment, but it's also the spiritual environment. It's very important, and everybody has to be sustainable. If there is one link that is not sustainable, things will not succeed. Yeah, everybody has to be happy, content, and then yeah, we have a chance.
is different. A sense of calm and tranquility envelop visitors. For those who stay at Balenbouche, they'll find several cottages, all unique, designed to complement their natural environment. Their open-air design means that while you have the modern amenities of a kitchen and bathroom, you might have a bird fly in and join you for a meal. Acres of trails to wander, a wellness center for yoga and meditation is located in the property's historic barn. And of course, there are the beaches. Balenbouche strives to be something very different.
This is a family business, and like I said, you know, the family's been in the Caribbean for a very long time, and I think as we stay here even longer, we become more Caribbean, you know, it's a melting pot. The fact that it's a family-run business and that it's small and that it's authentic, you know, we did all of this without borrowing money, without you know, any big investment. We just really used what we had, and so. When my mother made a decision to stay here, you know, after a lot of difficult things happened, the Hurricane Allen in the 80s, the place was in pretty bad shape. Of course, my family was also a bit disillusioned about some of the political things that were happening. She chose to stay, and she started off with nothing really, and sort of built the place back. She made a lot of sacrifices to do that. And what's really important, I think, is that place has grown slowly over time. Balenbouche has always been very linked to the community around it, you know, so it's never really broken those ties. And of course, things have changed over time, you know, for the better. I think there's been a healing process as well for everyone. You know, this place is very much part of St. Lucia, and it's part of something that we want to preserve, and not just for the history, which is obviously quite controversial and difficult, but it's also something we have to all come to terms with. I think now, you know, it's more about the beauty and the ecology and the fact that we want to open the doors, and we've always had an open door policy to everyone, and we want to preserve this for future generations.
Here aboard the Starflyer, the pace of life is wonderful, relaxed and mellow, but there's always a hint of excitement about what we'll find over the horizon. Whether you're new or have been traveling on ships for years, there's something for everyone aboard the Starflyer. Tony Harris explains.
Sailing the Caribbean on one of the ships in the Star Clipper fleet is a very intimate travel experience, and the passengers often feel like it's more like a family vacation, and the crew are old friends. Whether it's a first-time sailing or a return trip, the experience is shared with complete strangers, and the Star Clipper crew are memorable enough to last a lifetime. Some of the passengers sat down with us to share those experiences and what they meant to them. Luis and Ava Casillas had been on cruises before, but this was their first time sailing a tall ship, made even more special because they were celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary.
No, this is so much more intimate. The people have been great, and just the feeling of like them knowing you by face, having those conversations.
Yeah, I think they knew our names, you know, like the first day we were on the boat, that the bartender and they started calling us by name.
Right.
That was nice.
So I don't know what their system is, of flashcards or whatever, right? But it's very effective, and I think it's been really fun. And then also our dinner conversation has been great, meeting other couples, and we've really enjoyed that. So I think being able to meet people from across the globe and find out how much you have in common is really exciting, but also very refreshing nowadays. I think it's a really great benefit to be able to hear, in spite of the language barrier or accents, we're telling the same stories, right? We're telling the stories of family trips and family get-togethers and battling health issues, but still coming together and enjoying company and just this gorgeous weather.
They appealed to me because of the ships, what they were. So we thought we'd try them out, and yeah, we just kept coming back because we enjoy it so much. We've tried a couple of the others. I mean, there's other smaller ships out there, smaller sailing ships, and others that are a similar sort of thing, but they're not the same. There's something special about Star Clippers, I think.
My family's from Puerto Rico, so every time we travel to certain islands, it's as if I can see cousins. They're French speaking or they're Dutch speaking, right? There are more cultural differences.
It's weird to not see Spanish speaking as much.
Right.
Because that's what we're used to on Puerto Rico.
Right. But yeah, just the variety has been really surprising, and the food differences has been enjoyable. We love that.
First sailing or one of many, the Star Flyer is for both new and returning passengers home.
We always have wonderful meals on the Star Flyer. Every day is different.
But we also enjoy island cuisine when the ship ports. Tony Harris takes us to where we can enjoy home cooking, St. Lucia style.
Welcome to paradise.
High above the streets of Soufriere, St. Lucia, nestled between the trees, is the Beacon Restaurant. It's a landmark and a tradition in St. Lucia. In addition to delicious food and a family atmosphere, the Beacon offers a spectacular view of the iconic twin volcanic mountains known as the Pitons. During a recent visit to St. Lucia, SailTrek correspondent Geraint Georges had a chance to sit down with restaurant manager Teresa Abraham and find out what makes the beacon so special.
Said that St. Lucia is truly one of the unspoiled islands in the Caribbean. So anytime you set foot in St. Lucia, especially in Soufrière, and you do not patronize the beacon, you haven't been to Soufrière. Yes, the view, the cuisine, the staff, it's like a complete package. The beacon is about 20 to 21 years since in existence, yes, as a restaurant. We serve more or less Creole cuisine, homemade, the way we do our cooking at home. Yeah, and I think this is the only place in Soufrière where you'll get that kind of cooking. Yes, that's how we do it here.
The menu offers Creole recipes that reflect the real flavor of the island, and she boasts that you can only find that kind of authentic Caribbean flavor at the Beacon.
So what are some of the local foods incorporated into your menu since you speak of the Creole cuisine?
We have the plantain, which is related to the green banana. We serve, we have dashing. We make dashing balls. We make sweet potato balls. We do all that. We use rice, we use pasta. We do that on a daily basis. Yes, we do. However, we also use our green banana. There is one thing you get only at the Beacon, which is the green banana in the garlic sauce. And it's very good for the ladies, rich in iron. Yes, my dear. Oh, shiny eyes. All right. We cater for, not only for the locals, but we cater for foreigners. It doesn't make sense to leave America and come to the Caribbean and have the same baby back rib and all the same kind of things they can get back home and have it in a local country. If we're local, you're supposed to offer what you have. We're local, we serve local cuisine. We also serve local juice. We give our clients a glass of local juice every day. Today you might get sour orange, next back home they call it lemonade. Next day you can get the guava, the following day you get golden apple. You explore the cuisine, you explore the island, you explore everything that you have. You allow the people, not you explore, but you allow the people to explore everything that you offer.
Stand by, sails.
Stand by, sails. Stand by, sails.
Thanks for watching.
Be sure to join us on the next adventure.
We'll see you soon.